Pittsburgh Steelers cornerback Joey Porter Jr. reveals that he's making a body transformation. So, Joey Porter Jr. will be adding on at least 5 pounds of muscle before the NFL season gets underway. But before I get more into it, make sure you subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications for everything Pittsburgh Steelers news and updates. Also, like the video. Now, let's get right back into it. So, he's no longer a rookie anymore. He now has plenty of experience under his belt, and Joey Porter Jr. will act a little bit differently in his sophomore season, his second year in the league, instead of his rookie year. He'll look a little different too, because speaking with reporters, Joey Porter Jr. said he has gained 5 pounds to make him stronger ahead of the 2024 season. So, here is the quote that Joey Porter Jr. has said. I feel being at 205, I can be more physical in the run game, more physical on the line. End quote. He also said this, however, I feel good. Really, I'm feeling confident right now. I was about 5 pounds maybe. I'm really trying to play at 205. Last year, I fluctuated from 198 to 200. So it's kind of weird because I'm big for my position. So being 200 was not a big deal for me. But at 205, I can be physical in the run game and on the line. I can feel it coming a little bit. You know, I really want this to be ready by training camp rolls around. That's what I'm shooting for right now. End quote. So that means by the start of this season, Joey Porter Jr. is going to be around 5 to 7 pounds heavier, and hopefully it's all muscle. So, Joey Porter Jr., when exiting Penn State prior to the 2023 NFL Draft, he weighed in at 193 pounds on a 6'2" frame with elite length, and he was a lengthy body type, with some questioning his strength and overall physicality. Then Porter said that to start last season or to end last season, he was around 198 to 200, meaning that from the draft, combine, to the start of the season, he gained around 5 to 7 pounds as a rookie. And that makes him as a tackler grow as well, because we all saw the training camp clips, the preseason clips of Joey Porter Jr., the highlights of that, and all those missed tackles, and that was going to be a big concern in his game, the tackling. And that's what many people mentioned. Whenever Joey Porter Jr. was trying to tackle a wide receiver or tackle someone in training camp, he would miss the tackle. But not just miss it, the person would just break out of the tackle. So that obviously improved later on in the season, where he actually became a solid tackler for a cornerback as a Steeler. And that may have to do with him gaining 5 to 7 pounds. And now, going from his first season to his second season, he plans on adding another 5 to 7 pounds. So overall, from when he entered or got out of the NFL draft combine, he's gaining around 10 to 14 pounds in muscle. So that really helps him. And now that he's a clear number 1 quarterback, he's expected to continue to shadow top opposing wide receivers. That means battling against the offensive best wide receiver, often bigger in size than him in terms of weight and things like that. Those receivers obviously include Jamar Chase, CeeDee Lamb, A.J. Brown, Amari Cooper, Devontae Adams, Terry McLaurin. All 6 are at least 6 feet tall, and nearly all of them weigh 200 plus pounds. So obviously Porter at his size and strength will help with this, because going against those number 1s, he has to be able to shut them down at the line of scrimmage, be physical, and that's what he likes to do. The big thing with Joey Porter Jr. coming out of the NFL draft and last season was he's the top played press cornerback in college football when he was in there. He was the person who played press the most, and he was the best at it. That's what he likes to do, play press. And what does that mean? Play physical at the line of scrimmage. But at the next level, if you're so much lower in weight than the opposing opponent that you're going against, it's not going to be a good matchup. You're going to get beat off the line of scrimmage in the physicality department. So that means that Joey Porter Jr. adding this 14 pounds of muscle the last 2 seasons is really going to help him be able to play more press and be more physical at the line of scrimmage, in which he wants to do, in which he feels more comfortable doing. But not even just that, because even if he was a cornerback who did play off, you still have to be physical at the top of the route at the contested catch point when going up for the football, to be able to break the football out of the receiver's hand and just deflect the pass and things like that. So Joey Porter Jr. adding this weight, it's just better overall. As long as his quickness and his mirroring of defenders, him moving his hips in and out to get out of breaks, as long as that doesn't affect anything, as long as that weight's not slowing him down, this is only going to be a positive for Joey Porter Jr. in that department in every category as a number one cornerback. He stands at 6'2", 6'3", so obviously being the size will really be helpful in kind of filling out his frame. Because like I said, coming out, he was more of a lengthy person, so now adding more muscle is going to be helpful. Getting bigger and stronger will also prepare him to play an entire 17-game slate. As a rookie, the team kind of eased Porter into the lineup, only playing him in dime packages over the first month of the season. It wasn't until the second half of the season, in week 5, in which he actually saw regular playing time, and Porter didn't become a starter until week 8 this last season. So he'll be very important in terms of being an every down cornerback from the very first snap to the very end. And he must mentally and be physically prepared for it, and it looks like he's taking the steps in being ready. Last season, at the defensive back spot, Joey Porter Jr., when you really think of it, was one of the lone bright spots, other than Eric Rowe coming in at the very end of the year and helping the Steelers win a couple games. Consistently, the whole year, Joey Porter Jr. was like the only bright spot on the team. And he was a surprise as well, because we signed Patrick Peterson in the offseason to be the cornerback, and he, right out the gate, got burned. It seemed like he wasn't ready. It seems like he was a lot older than he was. He is old, but it seems like he just couldn't play anymore. And the Steelers just had to keep playing him because they didn't know what they had in other people. And even Levi Wallace. Levi Wallace, I was always saying that he's a player in which his stats kind of deceive you, because he would get an interception or 2 interceptions in a game, and it would make it look like he had a huge impact on the game. But in reality, before those interceptions, he would get burned every single play. He would let up 100 yards and then get interception, and that makes your stats look better. That's the player that I kept saying that Levi Wallace was. So now, Joey Porter Jr., when he came in as a Week 8 starter, he was the only person on the team who was consistent all the way through, not lining up big plays. At one point, I'm pretty sure he was like in the bottom 5 of the league in terms of passer rating thrown against him or completion percentage when being targeted. So he was one of the top cornerbacks all season as a rookie in terms of numbers. He wasn't big in interceptions. He only had 1, but even if he could add 3 or 4 picks in addition to being a strong cover corner and a reliable tackler, he'll be in line to make his first probably Pro Bowl as well, because he's already getting the recognition. Whenever we see posts about the Steelers defense, whether the Steelers defense is being mentioned as one of the top in the league, one person that's always on the list now is Joey Porter Jr. It goes like this. They mention TJ Watt, they mention Cameron Heyward, Mink Fitzpatrick, and now they'd be throwing in Joey Porter Jr. in there. So he's already getting recognition as a top cornerback and a shutdown cornerback, and now he just needs to utilize it and capitalize under the media influence. Because even in Rookie of the Year, Defensive Rookie of the Year voting, he did get some votes, so he's getting the recognition that he deserves, and it should be, because he was the only player for the Steelers last season, I said, on the defensive back spot, that was really reliable. Everyone else was getting injured. When you look at the cornerbacks, yes, Levi Wallace and Patrick Peterson, they played the season, they weren't really good. But then defensive back Mink Fitzpatrick, and whether that be DeMonte Casey, Keanu Neal, they're injured as well. So Joey Porter Jr., even though the big question was, will he be healthy for a whole season? Because of his size and stature and lengthiness, would he be healthy? Well, he was the more healthy player. So hopefully he can continue doing that at a bigger size as well. And Joey Porter Jr., he has to put his mind to it. he has to be the number one lockdown player for the Steelers. When you look at the Steelers cornerbacks the last few years, ever since really prime Ike Taylor, they haven't really had a player, a cornerback, to be able to shut down an opposing team's number one receiver in which you feel comfortable with doing so. Which player do you remember since Ike Taylor that could shut down the number one receiver, that could mirror the receiver and actually travel with them? I can't remember one because usually they do it by committee in the recent years. Or they would just let up a big plays after big plays and the number one receiver would always go off. But Joey Porter Jr. now, at least they have the guy to be able to follow. In Steelers system recently, they haven't been having a player follow. It's just been like a zone coverage, a man coverage, kind of having inside linebackers kind of mirror it as well and help. But now having Joey Porter Jr., having one guy to stick on the top receiver, that could really help the defensive scheme altogether because it allows you to do whatever you want in the back end and it allows you not just to have to double team and use someone else on the field to one side. Now you can actually have that guy instead of double team used somewhere else. So it just really helps having a top cornerback, and Joey Porter Jr.'s transformation should really help that as well, make bigger splash plays. The big reason was the run game, and he was solid in the run game last year, so this is only going to help in that category as well, coming down and laying the boom on running backs or receivers or even quarterbacks that are scrambling out the pocket, but especially receivers if they make the catch, being able to secure the tackle right away. But with that being said, that's the end of this video. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments below on Joey Porter Jr. saying he's making this transformation in adding 5 to 7 pounds of muscle. And since he came in the league, 10 to 14 pounds. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments below about him being the number one wide receiver. Do you think he could get the job done? And make sure you subscribe to the channel and turn notifications for everything Pittsburgh Steelers news and updates. I cover everything Steelers news and reports, analysis, highlights, every new player we added. An intro is on the channel. So go ahead and check that out. And I'll continue doing so as well through the off season, regular season, and all of Steelers news. So like, comment, subscribe, turn on notifications. I'll see you guys all later. Till next time, I'm out. Peace.